Ever wondered why your neighbor's magpie always seems to be stealing their shiny objects? It's not just mischief. It's a sign of their sharp minds. Join us as we explore the fascinating world of magpie intelligence and learn why they're so good at outsmarting us. When you see a magpie, do you turn around and walk the other way? Well, if you do, you're not alone. And it's probably because you've heard that if you break a magpie's mirror, you'll have 7 years of bad luck. But that's just a superstition. Because when you look into a magpie's eye, what you see staring back at you is one of the smartest animals on the planet. These birds have a lot more going on upstairs than you'd expect. They live in complex social groups with their own version of gossip. They hold grudges and recognize themselves in the mirror. And while you might think that's pretty smart for a bird, it's really only the tip of the iceberg. When it comes to problem solving, magpies are up there with primates and dolphins. And like those animals, they're also surprisingly good at remembering faces. In one study, a researcher showed a group of magpies some pictures of human faces and then tested them to see which faces they remembered best. The birds were shown a lineup of new faces, and they picked the familiar ones out of a lineup every time. That's a skill that most animals don't develop until they're much older. But the magpies were just getting started. In another test, they were presented with a series of differently colored boxes and a set of differently colored balls. And they were shown that only some of the boxes had holes in them, and that only certain colored balls could go through certain sized holes. Once they understood this, they were able to figure out how to get treats out of some pretty tricky boxes. And they even figured out how to use a lever to open a box that was out of reach. But they didn't stop there. After figuring out how to get the treats, some of the magpies hid the boxes or covered them with cups so that their nestmates wouldn't be able to get the treats. And some of them even tried to hide the boxes so the researchers wouldn't find them. In other words, they were acting like they had something to hide. And this is where things get really interesting. You see, the boxes weren't the only thing the magpies had to remember. They also had to remember what color ball went through, which colored hole, and they had to remember all of this for months at a time. And yet they still performed better than a 3-year-old human child. But the crowning jewel of their intelligence is their ability to plan for the future. In one experiment, magpies were given the opportunity to trade one of their collected items for food. And the researchers found that the birds preferred to trade duller, less valuable items for food when they were hungry, but not when they weren't hungry. This shows that they can make decisions based on future events, which is something that only a handful of animal species are capable of. So the next time you see a magpie, don't walk away. Take a moment to appreciate the incredibly intelligent creature that you're seeing. It might just surprise you. Now you know what to blame when something goes missing. Will you be sharing this video with your friends? Because there's one thing we love more than talking about smart birds, and that's our viewers who share our videos. So share this with your friends, and let us know what you think. See you later.